Hey friend, welcome to On the Daily. I'm your host, Danielle McCleary, and I am a quantum business coach. I'm the host of this podcast. I'm a multi-six-figure entrepreneur, co-founder and president of Hype You Media, and CEO of Danielle on the Daily Coaching. What I'm really interested in is helping you live a life and have a business that is a full body yes. So through all of my education and all of my experience, I'm bringing you 2 episodes a week where I will guide you and give you the tools necessary to scale a massive, sustainable, and sexy business using your intuition, wealth energetics, and human design. What we can call it is business biohacking. So if you're down for that, then I say let's frickin' go. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday, or I guess whenever you're hearing this, welcome back to On the Daily. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I don't normally, well, I've talked about a little bit, but you're going to wonder, like, what does this have to do with my business? And unless you've experienced it, I guess it maybe doesn't, but everyone will experience this at some point in their life. So I think it's important to talk about. And that's grief. That's grief while running a business. That's grief while scaling a business. That's grief and entrepreneurship. It's something that I know very well, better than I wish I did. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Before we jump into that, though, I need to tell you about the reckoning. I've been talking about it a lot. And this Friday, the price increases to $888. It is currently at $444. And I think by the time this launches, this program's probably going to be close to almost $2,000. And the reason why it's going to go up so much is because the more that I think about this course, the more that I prepare content for this course, I'm like, oh my gosh, this course is just everything that we need right now. This is just it's kind of a pillar of my work, and it's just a lot of things are coming out of me. So as I add more value, the price goes up. That's how it works. So currently you can get this course for $444. And the reason I created the reckoning, right? The reason I made it was because I see so many of you. I have conversations with so many of you all the time about how you feel like you are ready. You are ready to step into this next version of yourself. You feel it in your bones that it is time to elevate your brand, elevate your business, elevate your life, elevate your relationships, elevate the energy that you surround yourself with. And you just don't know how. You don't know how to do it. You don't know where to go. And you don't really even know how to articulate it. And that is where I think that we need to have a reckoning, because there are so many people on this page. And if you pay attention to what you're, quote, told, right? You're told to not grow and evolve and shift and change and all those things. And that, you should just continue to look to other people to see what's best for you. But I really believe that the world that we are moving toward, the form of leadership that we are moving toward, the consciousness that we are moving toward as a collective will require self-leadership, and it will require each person to own their power and their individuality and their time, and not have it be dictated by what's happening in the world around us. And I really do believe that. And so the reckoning is that. The reckoning is a coming home. The reckoning is a reminder of who we are. It's going to be at least, I think I'm at 4 trainings now. It's going to be at least 4 trainings. We begin on February 1st. Everything I do is recorded. So if you can't participate live, that is no reason to not jump into a program. Honestly, if that's the reason you're not jumping into programs, there are other subconscious limiting beliefs going on. Because I have clients all over the world. It would be it's not rational. It doesn't make sense to try to figure out time zones for everyone. That's why I record it. But currently it's at 4 trainings. It's probably going to be more than that. And we're going to talk everything from masculine versus feminine energy. We're going to talk about personal leadership. We're going to talk about healing old wounds. We're going to talk about standing in your power, no matter what. All of these things are going to be part of this course, and it's going to really set you on this fiery, blazing trail of growth and connection and desire in a way that maybe you really haven't seen before. The goal is for you to leave an even more elevated, confident, luxurious, rich person than you came in. So I'm really excited about the reckoning. I honestly I don't know if I've ever been as excited about this. And I have a feeling this is going to be one of my most powerful courses that I teach. So getting in while it's $444 is definitely the move. If I can say what the vibe is, that's the vibe and that's the move. And if you miss it, that's fine. You can still join at $888. There's always payment plans. You can pay bi-weekly. You can pay in installments. Like all of that is fine. But I would get in while it's $444 personally. Entrepreneurship and grief. Why are we talking about this? So backstory for those of you that don't know, my dad died 2 years ago yesterday, the 16th of January, 2021. It's already been 2 years. Part of me is like, I can't believe it's already been 2 years. And then the other part of me is like, I can't believe it's been 2 years. Like it's been so long and it feels like it was yesterday. And I still remember the way that I felt. I still remember the way the room smelled when I watched him take his last breath. Like I will never, those images and those feelings and those smells and everything will be imprinted on my mind for as long as I live. And that was the day time stopped for me. And I remember back then I didn't have a coaching business. I had a very successful network marketing business that I'm still very proud of the success I had in my network marketing business. But I was kind of like, I was peaking at that point. And, I didn't have a coaching business. It wasn't something that I had really thought of. I definitely knew that I wanted to eventually, but it wasn't something I had planned. We hadn't officially planned to move to Texas yet. It was something we were only talking about. The idea of building a custom home and paying for it like on my own, also very out of the question. My dog Maggie, who I had had for 12 years, was still alive. Like I had a 4-year-old. Like there were just so many things back then that were just so different. And when my dad died, like time stopped, just like fully stopped. I remember the day he died, we were driving home from his house back to our house in LA. And I remember just like looking out the window and I was crying. And it was like not even outward crying at that point. Like when you lose someone you really care about, like sometimes the tears are very out. It's like a very like physical cry. And then the other times it almost just feels like you're crying on the inside. Like everything just feels like it's shutting down. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. Like, I really don't know if I'm going to get through this. And if it was such an if back then, like that feeling of if I get through this, I'm never going to waste a day again. I'm never going to take it for granted. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to make my dad proud. Now, flash forward, obviously my dad was already going to be proud. And actually there was a lot of limiting beliefs around like trying to make him proud. So if you are, this is one of the reasons I want to talk about this. If you are experiencing grief or loss or something and you dive immediately back into your work and you don't allow yourself to feel, and it's all in the name of, I gotta make him proud. There's probably some limiting beliefs there happening where you feel guilty or you feel shame or you feel fear or scarcity around that person not being here anymore. And I know that's the case with me. I just dove so quickly back into work. I was still teaching SoulCycle full time at that point. I dove right back into teaching a full schedule. I dove right back into building my network marketing business. I dove just right back into everything. And it was all in the name of my dad raised me to be a strong, independent person, and I'm going to do it. Which is great, of course. And I still do that. And what I didn't realize at the time was that was a coping mechanism so that I didn't have to feel. Because if I actually took a second to feel it, I would have to drop some of the balls that I was holding, right? Some of the plates that I was juggling, I would have to drop. I think I said that backwards. I would have to drop some of the plates I was holding and the balls I was juggling. Wow. I would have to drop some of those things and then I wouldn't be doing anything. And if I'm not doing anything, then I'm not going to be successful. And so really what the grief of losing my dad really showed me was that I actually had a lot of limiting beliefs around empty space in my life. I was very deeply attached to people's approval, and I did that through staying busy. And the busier I was, the more praise I would receive. And so jumping right back in and becoming as busy as possible gave me praise that I deeply subconsciously needed, especially because I wasn't getting it from my dad anymore. So I've healed that a lot, and I don't feel that way anymore. And I actually did drop a lot of the balls I was juggling and a lot of the plates I was holding. And I got very clear on what I wanted my life to look like. And that's ultimately why I live the life you see me live now, which is, I don't say yes to anything that's not mutually beneficial. If it's not a full body yes, it's a no. And sometimes that means I'm not doing anything. And I've really learned to heal that. But I learned that through grief. I learned that through the deepest hopelessness I've ever felt. And I don't know if I would have learned that lesson the way that I was meant to had I not lost my dad. So the reason I like to talk about grief when it comes to entrepreneurship is I think we come here to experience everything. I think we come to this planet, we choose to have an earth side experience because we want to experience everything. And I think we get wrapped up in not thinking we need to feel everything. I think we get wrapped up in, oh, well, if I just experience the good things, then my life will be good. And yeah, of course, like your life is good and it feels good and like all of that is good. All of that's great. And I don't know if we can have the full human experience unless we're willing to experience all of it. And if we're going to come and have this experience, we're going to come earthside and we're going to have this experience, right? We're going to do it. We're going to do the earth thing. Then experiencing the grief and the loss and the deep sadness is part of that beautiful journey. And the only way we can experience those highs and that success and the feeling of pure joy and ecstasy, the only way we can experience that is if we feel the other side of that coin. We feel the opposite of that. Everything has an equal and opposite reaction. And so if you're going through something, or if there's things you need to grieve that you have not grieved, and maybe that's the loss of a friendship, maybe that is death, maybe that is a relationship that ended, maybe that is a friendship that ended, maybe that is, missing a past version of yourself. If there's grieving you need to do, I highly suggest you do it, because the reason why you grieve is because there are lessons in there that you are meant to learn. If you are not willing to experience the grief, then you will not learn those lessons. And those lessons you chose to come here to learn. So don't avoid the lessons. As an entrepreneur, don't think that you have to be up and on all the time, because you don't. I'm not saying like crawl into a hole. I'm saying feel your feelings. I'm saying go through the things you're meant to go through, because they were given to you. Those gifts, those lessons were given to you. And I can't explain why. And trust me, I wish my dad was just here. Like I would trade all those lessons. Like I say, I would trade all those lessons in order to have my dad back. And I don't know if that's the right answer. I bet it's not. I mean, I know that he had to die in order for me to really learn things, just like I had to go through divorce, just like I had to, my son's dad and I weren't married, but it might as well have been divorce. I had to go through those things. Like you have to go through those things because you came here to be human. And human is so beautifully complex with all of these emotions. And energetically, we have to know what they all feel like. What a gift it is to feel. What a gift it is to feel deep grief and know that you could love someone that much. I don't take love for granted anymore. I tell everybody that I love equal and often. I tell them often how much I love them. And I don't know if I did that before. I probably did, but like not in the same way. But it's intentional now. And I know what kind of life I want to leave, what kind of legacy I want to leave for my family. And I learned that through the death of my dad, which is why I do the things I do, which is why I'm building the business I'm building. And I just don't think I would have learned those lessons had it not been for that horrible experience. And so the reason why I think we talk about entrepreneurship and grief is because everybody is grieving things. Everybody, there's so much to be to grieve over the last couple of years of like life, right? Just like living and moving through a pandemic, that's enough to grieve. Have you grieved it yet? Have you allowed yourself the moment to be like, wow, that was a really traumatic experience that I went through. There was a lot of really horrible things that I just moved through. And like, have you paid attention to the lessons that you've learned? Losing my dad was the catalyst I needed to realize that I was letting other people have my power too often. I did not learn how to fully stand in my power until I was grieving my dad. That's really fucked up to say. And it's so important. So feel your feelings is what I'm saying. Go through the things you're meant to go through, learn the lessons you're meant to learn, and trust that it's all happening for you. It's all happening for you. And I know my dad is just there. Like, he would be so excited about everything that I'm doing. And I know that. And he is here. And I feel him every day. Every decision I make, right? Every big life miracle that happens, like I feel him right next to me every step of the way. He's on my desk. Like I literally have a photo of him in everything I do. Right now, I'm like staring at this photo of him and me and my brother from when I was probably 12. My brother was probably 10. And we are at a restaurant. And like, I stare at this picture every time I work. And what a gift. What a beautifully painful, deeply profound gift. I hope this served someone. I hope this served you if you heard it. And if it did, go ahead and share with me. Come find me on Instagram, Danielle_on_the_daily. I would love to hear what resonated with you the most. I have a lot of courses for sale, and a lot of them are huge for money manifestation and strategy and kind of reframing and my 4-step process to reframing limiting beliefs. I have courses on all of it. If you go to daniellemcclary.com/courses, you can see them all. Everything has a payment plan. You can pay in payments, you can pay in full. But this is the year I feel like you're going to really jump into paid coaching and developing yourself as a leader and developing yourself as a brand. And I am so excited to be on that road with you. I can feel your energy and I just know that you're ready, and I got something for everyone. So come hang out. And if you have any questions or anything, come find me on Instagram at Danielle_on_the_daily, and we'll chat soon. Love you.